Somebody's withdrawn, somebody's just sad. You can't explain the sadness. It's coming out of somewhere. Maybe you are rejected. Maybe you are hurt. Maybe you saw parents misbehaving. Maybe you are bullied somewhere. Maybe you lost a loved one. And these things were not able to get processed properly. So the person could get into depression. So depression is a disease, but it's also a sign that there is trouble behind. For this thing to get to depression, there are so many things that could have triggered that depression.
Grief, if it is not tackled properly, it leads to depression, and of course suicide.
So if you, because in the journey of life, you will lose some very good people, you will lose some very close people. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to mourn. Cry it out. Speak it out. Don't keep it in the chest. It will hurt you. Bipolar is a condition, where people will alternate between very excited mood, then very sad mood.
Exactly. We also have a previous video on bipolar. We discussed this in a previous.
Maybe somebody should need to check out
exactly
that one, because some people may not be understanding why they're behaving the way they're behaving by some mood disorder like that. Then we have the psychotic disorders. These ones are where we have hallucinations, schizophrenia, delusions.
Somebody is speaking to you and you don't even know.
Yes.
And the person is telling you go and commit suicide.
With the psychotic disorders, we are talking about where somebody will be having an abnormal thinking. Thinking about things that are unreal.
And they hear voices.
Like for the schizophrenia, the people who will hear voices telling you, go take a gun and shoot yourself.
Or shoot somebody.
The voices telling them that people hate you. You are useless. And if they're not diagnosed properly and medicated, such people could end up with suicide. With hallucinations, people be there, they seem to be seeing things. But those things are not real. They'll be telling you, I'm seeing people chasing me, I'm seeing people here like that, and that person is seeing things in their mind, but they're not real. And then we have this thing I also realized, it happens for a few mothers. It is postnatal psychosis.
We have also another video on postnatal, and it is not a few mothers, quite a number of mothers experience that depression, postnatal depression.
Because I know of a case where after delivery, this mother was behaving strange. In our African setting, they just say she's bewitched. Because after delivery, she was into an abnormal sadness and she would want to throw away the baby.
We have some who kill their children.
Yes.
If not taken care of. And the problem is that the world, the society will not understand that they are sick.
And they just say, this one is mad.
This one is mad. This one is what they start heaping blame and pushing you to do bad things.
So we really need to realize that people who are even contemplating suicide, they are not criminals.
No.
They are patients. They are sick. This person, that attempt to suicide is a cry for help.
Yeah, cry for help, but crying out for love.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the inside, this person is exploding.
Yeah.
So they're looking for a very emergency reaction to save their life. This is an emergency.
And the reaction to save your life sometimes is to kill yourself.
It's
Save
true.
yourself from that pain.
Pain.
Sometimes you reach a point when you say there is no need of living if this is our life.
Very true. Many people who would consider suicide is simply because, not because they want to die,
No.
but they just want to escape this pain and trouble around them.
Yeah.
Then we also have anxiety disorders, where people like have panic disorders. This somebody who just be having a strange fear of either real or even perceived dangers. So the people who they don't react normally to threats, they will have an amplified reaction to threat. So they may be having even a rent arrears. Instead of facing the landlord, they will choose to take their life.
Yeah, you have too many debts and everybody is calling you.
Yes.
And, pay.
So you panic and
you get out of it.
Which is not the right way. Do not end your life. Whatever you are going through, you can get grace from God to carry it for a season, or to conquer it, or to manage it.
Yeah.
Whatever you're going through, you can get grace and be encouraged. What you are going through should not bury you. Do not be buried by what you are going through. It does not have to be the end of your life. You may be going through a very trying season. Don't end your life. There is solution. There is help. Reach out. Talk to somebody. Get even in this video, you get contacts down there. Reach out, drop an email. If you are in a place near a church, talk to a local pastor, talk to a doctor, talk to a counselor. There is help for you. And you realize that whatever you thought would have killed you, after you survive it, you will help many other people out of the same condition.
And if you know God,
yes,
I will draw you to Psalm 23. Even though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, you are walking through, and God is also walking with you through it. So it is encouraging to know that you will walk and go through it. You are not going to live within that valley forever. One time you will cross the valley and go the other side, and you will start smiling again, and you'll see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Very true.
So, yeah.
Then we also have historical factors. So we've done social, we've done medical. Now we briefly tackle historical and spiritual. With the historical one, the major risk factor here is previous suicide attempts. If you have somebody who has tried suicide before, that person, if they have not yet healed properly, the likelihood of them attempting again is very high. So previous suicide attempts, you need to be careful with that person. If it is your son, your daughter, who has been speaking about it, who has tried, you found a suicide note, you found the person researching about how to kill themselves, the easiest way to kill yourself, reading about suicide on the internet, a teenager like that, that person is in a risky zone, is in a red zone. So when you see them behaving in a strange way, they are moody, they are withdrawn, they are sleepless, they are arrogant, that person needs a lot of attention, because previous suicide attempts is a very high risk. You can look and see, this person tried it before, you can try it again. Many times you realize that people who will try suicide, they're even safe taken to hospital. A year after that, they try again. The third time, they actually kill themselves. You see. Then a family history of suicide. I've observed over time that you could actually see in a family, daddy committed suicide. The son will be having an issue of trying to commit suicide or even commit suicide. A grandson will also be having the same. So when people see this thing in the family, it becomes normal. It's not a big deal. Even daddy committed suicide. You hear is some of the conversations that in a family, somebody who tried suicide will tell you, I heard daddy say that I can kill myself. So for them, it is in the family, suicide is not anything big. It has happened before. And two, some of them, when they see suicide has happened, some of them even witnessed. They went and found a brother or a sister having committed suicide. That picture sticks in their mind. And if they are not helped, they may think this is a way out of problems. So if I am stuck, if daddy killed himself, I can also take myself. So a family history of suicide. The family needs to talk about these things and discourage people about suicide. Talk about it openly. Talk to your children. Have conversations about suicide. Tell them your father committed suicide. This is how bad it was to me. This is how it affected me. You know, it almost gave me a nervous breakdown. So that they don't think suicide is a good thing. You need to open up to your children. Talk out it. Your grandfather was in the military and he committed suicide. It affected us this way. This is how we were devastated. And when they see the negative impact of suicide, somebody may be deterred from doing it.
There are some parents who a child goes and says, I'm going to commit suicide. They will ask, what you are teased? You are not encouraging somebody to commit suicide.
They will tell them, you die, you will bury So it's not a joking matter.
It is not a joking matter. It is not a light matter.
No, it's so heavy. Don't just hear them talk about it. They may threaten now and do it 10 years from now. They may threaten now and do it 6 years from now. So when they're talking about this distress call in that child, find out what the problem is and try and settle it out. Then we also have child abuse, which you had mentioned earlier. Those adverse childhood experiences. When the child is raped, when the child is sexually molested, when the child is sodomized, those things grow with the child and they form a disorder in the person. These kids hate themselves. They hate people. They hate life because of the kind of adverse experience they had in their childhood. Some of the people who will be sharing their stories about attempted suicide, there will be a problem in their childhood also. You realize either they were molested, they were beaten up by a father, they were abused verbally, they were called useless, they were even maybe sexually molested, and all those things, when they meet another trigger later in life, they open up those old wounds. This child identity was never properly created. They don't seem to understand themselves, value themselves, love themselves. And because of that, any slight trigger can actually cause such a young person or even later mature person want to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Then of course, because of time, also trauma.
Yeah.
When I know of doctors, they're trained properly, but they would have some experiences that after going home, they're traumatized. You see accidents, people come in, broken limbs, broken head, broken this, and some people cannot just handle that properly. There are soldiers who go to war. There are police officers who are in the line of duty. You shoot somebody and you collect the body. You are collecting a body of brains that are scattered. You're collecting gang-related deaths, people who have been murdered brutally and all of this. So that kind of trauma, we were not created to just enjoy blood and a broken human body. So those kind of traumatic scenes can actually affect a person to the point where now they feel the life is of no value.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are also some medications that could drive somebody to commit suicide, especially medications of mental.
Very good. And actually, we almost miss that.
Yeah.
It's good you brought it up because I was reading something and they said two things. One, that those psychiatric medications that actually they're treating depression, but the side effect could actually be suicidal tendency.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
The other thing they said that withdrawing abruptly from some of those mental related treatments, when you withdraw suddenly, they could leave the person with a restless disorder, where they could be suicidal or even homicidal. So what you said is true. There are some drugs whose side effect could actually push somebody to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Wow. Finally, spiritual. On the spiritual side, I would maybe want to just look at two things. One, wrong doctrine. Number two, demonic activity. Wrong doctrine. If you realized in Kenya of the recent past, we have had where more than 400 bodies of people were excavated.
Yes, very unfortunate. Yeah.
Influenced by somebody who told them they need to fast until they go to heaven. So if you are in a church or any religious organization, check the doctrine.
Check the doctrine, but I also want to speak to parents, especially young parents. Get to know, to establish a strong foundation, spiritual foundation.
Very good.
For yourself, your family, your children, so that they do not go and be tossed about by any wind that comes their way as they grow. So
that kind of foundation, biblical foundation, let your children be grounded in the knowledge of the truth.
Exactly.
Have some good Bible study. Then also allow the kids space where they can come to you freely, where they can ask you questions. I heard this pastor say this. Is it true? You can reason and they can confide in you. Even if they met something strange, they can come back and ask from you. In the US in 1978, there was what they called the Johnston Massacre, where a man influenced, was there around 900 followers, to drink cyanide. And they died. 900. There was a guy who was called Reverend Jim Jones, and he influenced 900 followers to take a cyanide drink, and they died. In Uganda in 2020, there was what they called the Kanungu, or was it Kanunga or Kanungu Massacre. This guy convinced people to lock themselves in the church, then they set themselves ablaze in the name of, the world is coming to an end.
Yes.
So the church, please watch how you address the issue of eschatology, the end times.
Yes, the church watch, the families watch.
Yes.
Where you will take your children. Religious groups watch the doctrine that your children are being exposed to.
So there's that wrong doctrine is a big issue. People would want to fast until they die. They want to just withdraw from life. They want to stop gainful life activities in the name of seeking God.
Some of them do not want to go to hospital.
Yes.
They do not go to hospitals. In the name of God.
In the name of God. So people have negative attitude towards conventional medicine. They believe in divine healing. I believe in divine healing.
Yes.
But I also believe that God will allow healing and cure to come through medicine and medical procedures.
Medicine would not have been there if it were not for God's
provision.
Provision, yes.
There is no conflict.
He brought it for that purpose.
Very true.
If he did not want it, it would not be there.
And even for medical, mental health issues, please, if we have talk therapy like we are doing here, but there are conditions which need medical attention.
Exactly.
Go to hospital.
Exactly.
Talk to a psychologist. Talk to a psychiatrist.
Yes.
They are there permitted by God to be solution to that condition you are going through.
Yeah.
So
that wisdom, that knowledge is imparted to them by God for a purpose.
Very true.
So do not disregard that.
Go to hospital, get medicine where you need to go.
Yeah.
Then we have also demonic activity. Apart from wrong doctrine, I believe there's demonic activity. I strongly believe out of personal ministry, there are people who get attacked. In the book of Matthew, in the Bible, chapter 8, verse 28 to 33, there's a man who Jesus found among the graves, naked, and who would cut himself. The one from whom demons left and entered the pigs, the 2,000 pigs that drowned.
Yeah.
This is a person who has dropped everything in life. He's living among the graves. He's cutting himself, bleeding. And what is causing that man to destroy himself is actually a demonic possession. So there's a lot of also of demonic possession. I know of people who have been found dead. And when they are found dead, they are found with their hands. They actually strangled themselves, which is not comprehended. How do you strangle yourself to death?
Yeah.
And when they came, they actually found marks of serious pressing of the neck area. So you cannot convince me that the person
did it to himself.
Yeah. It would appear as if he strangled himself, but there are serious demonic activities also. So apart from taking the medical approach, the social approach, looking at the historical factor, I would advise you, please pray. Build a personal relationship with God. Because some of these even suggestions will be as a result of demonic activity. Some of the breaking of our families has a demonic attack in it. There will be a reason why mom and dad will separate. The devil is looking for a place to steal, kill, and destroy, the Bible says. So even as you are approaching the suicide matter, do not neglect the spiritual aspect of this thing. Please pray. Develop a prayerful life. Sometimes you may not cry always before people, but people of faith are likely to survive strange seasons of life because of the relationship with God.
Yeah, because you can go and close yourself in a closet and cry, literally cry to God.
Not that you can. I do it always. There are times when I am stranded, there are times when I feel stuck, and I will hide myself in the room.
Yeah.
And I will just cry to God. I say, God have mercy on me. God, I'm suffering here. God, this thing is not working. God, this thing is hard on me. God, please come through for me. And prayer is not only going to get you answers. Prayer is also therapeutic.
Yeah.
When you cry out, when those tears come out, you will agree with me. Sometimes you come from the prayer place and you feel light.
Exactly.
So please do not neglect the spiritual angle
to
this.
Yeah.
Wow. So if I should say maybe the last thing, people don't just end their life because they want to die. They're going through some suffering. They are not criminals. They are actually patients. They need help. So you are there, you're feeling a little bit suicidal here and there, you have those tendencies. We are not here to condemn you. We are here to help you. And good also to say, suffering is human. So do not consider that you're suffering and you say, now this one, I just need to quit. No. Everybody on this planet suffers
at one point
or another.
Yeah.
Even if it's a president, a top footballer, a doctor, an engineer, the people who may be smiling on your screen, the presenters on television who have just anchored news, smiling, glowing, and the next morning news come out, they kill themselves. So do not think that you are in the hell on earth. You feel like you are in hell on earth. Believe you me, friend, everybody on this planet suffers through something or the other.
Yes, and suffering is irrespective of how much money you have in the
bank. Regardless of how educated you are, from whichever family you come, whichever skill complexion, whichever country you come from, but it's good to know through support, through counseling, it is possible to manage and even outlive the pains and ultimately use your experience to help other people manage their seasons of difficulty.
Yes, and do not look at the glamorous life in social media and think you have nothing. A lot of those are artificial.
Very, very true.
A lot of those people are going through lots of issues and they want to camouflage.
Yes.
So live your life
very true.
The best you can.
You say something also in conclusion again here. Money is something, and money is not everything. So if you are a parent, if you are out there, don't chase the money, and when you have all the money, you discover you lost the life.
Yes.
Some people will be chasing a livelihood and lose the life at the end of the day. So make time for your loved ones, make time for your parents, make time for your children, make time for yourself, make time for God.
Exactly, even as you are chasing livelihood.
Yes.
Ensure that you maintain life.
Live life, and life is lived around people.
Yeah.
Life is beautiful. Life is worth enduring. Life is worth fighting for. Life is worth investing in. Life is worth experiencing. It is those seasons of pain and trouble and success and victories. That is life in its own shades and colors and seasons. That is life. If life was only blue, the rainbow would not make sense.
No.
The rainbow is made up of all these 7 colors.
Yeah.
And life is that way. Life is not only blue or white or red or green. It is in all these colors.
It's a mixture of all those colors.
There will be time to cry. Ecclesiastes will tell us.
Time for us.
Time to scream, time to laugh, time to plant, time to harvest, sometimes you feel you have lost, and you have actually lost some things, but all the same, it is just life.
And I will say amen. Thank you for watching this episode of Mental Wellness Insights. We have delved deeply on causes of suicide, but by no means exhaustively. There are many, many other causes. And we will be happy to listen to you, to hear your comments, to read your comments in the comment section. And if you are listening to this and you haven't subscribed, please do so. And so that you encourage us to bring more of such topics. We will still continue with our series on suicide. Until the next episode, May the Lord bless you.